Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from, or like we say here in Australia, good day. So, I've been a consultant for the last 20 years, predominantly in the space of business process reengineering. Worked across the private and public sectors, delivering over 60 uh, initiatives. For the last 3.5 years, I've been consulting with Stonnington City Council. This is a municipality which is located about 15 kilometers from the center of Melbourne CBD. We have a population of 120,000, and the annual budget is 190 million. The major directorates are planning and place, community and well-being, and environment and infrastructure. These directorates are supported by customer and technology, human resources, finance, and governance. On the right, you see our beautiful city hall, or what we call here as town hall. In fact, this was built about 135 years. I just happened to see the foundation stone. And our offices are housed on both the floors. And we have large function spaces inside. In fact, the dining hall is very similar to Hogwarts. One thing about a local council or a municipality is that the small business community create the vibrance. They can make or break a municipality. We have around 4,800 small business houses. They support a whopping 55,000 jobs and generate $16 billion of economic activity. This is good for the council. This is good, and this is good for us as public servants. We collect various fees and charges. The permits, some of the permits would be for small businesses to trade on the pavement, outdoor dining, display of signboards, and etc. Registrations would include food permit for foods and health compliance. Health compliance are required for businesses that deal with that provide massage services, hair salon, a medical clinic, etc. So when COVID hit our municipalities, small businesses were badly affected. And this case study centers around what we did and how we did during to get out of the crisis successfully. So the problem, like I said, centered around the COVID-19 crisis. Our counselors, these people are the elected representatives of basically they're politicians. They wanted to help the traders. They wanted to show some leadership, and they were looking for ideas. The divisional managers from the economic development, which looks after the small business and the economic activity of the community, and the local laws, which is responsible for monitoring the compliance, got together, and they were looking at ways to help. One of them was to give back the fees and charges that we collect. A small business would be paying somewhere between 2,000 and 18,000 per year as in fees and charges. That's a substantial amount that we had and we could give back to the community. However, this was a huge challenge. We are talking about 4,800 businesses. Refunding a transaction the typical way would have taken months, and it would impose a heavy burden on the staff involved in processing the transaction. For me and my team, this was a challenge that was not to be missed. We re-engineered the entire process. Basically, we pulled out every stop, used Lean and Six Sigma to remove all non-value adding activities, looked at the touch points and handovers and rationalized them. We went paperless, used some smart validation to eliminate all attachments, which are usually needed by government as proof to prove who you are and what you are requesting for. We automated the entire workflow end to end, spanning 4 departments across about 6 business applications. And we put the money into the bank accounts of the trader. As part of the pilot, I got a local loss officer to run an end-to-end process and make a demonstration to the executives. That person, she could do it within 3 minutes. So we got the go-ahead. We refunded close to $2 million in fees and charges. Several thousand small businesses benefited. The entire initiative took less than 4 weeks to complete. So this was a resounding success. So I would like to highlight a few things. We normally think of transformation as technology driven. So I would like to bring a slightly different spin and then share what we learned with you guys. Uncertainty because of COVID meant that we were in a startup mode. Nothing was sacred. Normally, when you want to change, you encounter resistance. But here, the typical pushback, this is how we do things here, got buried. The second thing was empowerment. In uncertainty, what happened was the team banded together. We developed trust in one another. The other thing was the command and control. The team members did not have to keep going back to their managers, to their directorates to get decisions. They had the empowerment, mainly because of two factors. One is the managers themselves had quite a bit of things happening, and their plates was full, and they didn't have time to micromanage. So the project teams were empowered, and we could experiment and make decisions. The third thing was constraints. The usual business rules, the usual process in a steady state was no longer there. So in the new constraints, we had to experiment, and we had the opportunity to model rapidly using the ProcessMaker platform. So we had to experiment just to survive. The other thing the softer aspect, how we could sustain this over such a long period of time, was we had a mental shift. We moved from coming to work to community service, providing service to the community. So we all became volunteers. So there was compassion in giving. It may sound cliched, but this is true. The ProcessMaker platform allowed this, and then we now have a large pool of citizen developers. The low-code platform enabled this, and we co-create. The focus, the purpose was very clear. Like work versus community service, the purpose is higher than just simply turning up to work every day. Because of the experimentation, we could realize the benefit quicker, and this infused energy, and we could keep going. The third aspect is satisfaction. Here is where we started getting feedback very quickly, and the whole thing created an enabling environment. So this kept us going for the last 9 months, and we hope that this will be the new normal. The executives wanted me to distill a few things and then tell them, do a presentation on the lessons learned. So one of the things that I told them was, in the last 8 months, we could do something that we would have taken 24 months to do. And I'm not alone. Microsoft CEO, he said on records that they could do they could leapfrog 3 years in about 6 months. So I would say the platform, the concept of platform, where we could group the outcomes, process outcomes, and then design a platform wherein multiple processes could be executed. Second thing was simplification. I use the concept of jobs to be done. This allowed us to simplify. I'm a big believer of employee satisfaction leads to customer satisfaction. So we could inject fun into execution. You don't have to take my word. You can ask anyone from our council. Workflow. Intuitive modeling in ProcessMaker allowed us to experiment. We kept pushing the arc of what they say possibility. Then integration. The speed of delivery depends on the ability to move data from one system to another, so that it triggers and helps processes and decisions. So we went from digitization to digital transformation. Then lastly, it's all about the people. If we have a team, a department, or a company of unwilling folks, then we can never transform at the speed with which we could. So I use what I call as a subscription model, where I allow the people in my team and the extended stakeholders to co-create the future state. One of the biggest advantages I found that it eliminates the need for change management. So the results, I would like to sum it up as themes. Over the past 3 years, we digitized 40 processes, and some of the highlights are unified refund process. The council provides fee-based over 40 fee-based services. Each of them have a component of refund. And this platform, what it does is it can process refund across the services, and the refund process is simplified. We have just 4 steps: receive a request, validate a request, approve the request, and send the money by electronic banking to the person who requested the refund. The second one is the HR platform. This manages the entire workflow of the HR department, from when a person is hired to when he or she retires or leaves the councils. The third one was very topical, to manage compliance requirements during the COVID period. So we had to maintain location density across various of our events, various locations, various town halls across the community. And we had to do contact tracing as well. And then this had to be reported. If we had a case, we had to report it to the Department of Health. And case management, we created a platform wherein we could process any incoming requests, handle complaints, route correspondence, and the list goes on. So a platform design is scalable and I would say spannable. You could add processes onto this platform very easily once you are able to simplify the process. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, folks. Time for applause. And any questions, please route it through the ProcessCon Slack channel, and we should get you the answer. If not immediately, but certainly you'll get the questions answered. Thank you so much. Bye for now.